Welcome back to Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen. If you love exploring stories that shaped our world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps us bring you more untold echoes from the past. Today, we revisit a dark moment in modern American history, the Boston Marathon bombing of 2013, a tragedy that shook a city, tested resilience, and left scars that are still felt today. On April 15, 2013, Boston's streets were filled with excitement. It was Patriots Day, a state holiday in Massachusetts, and thousands of runners from around the globe had gathered for the 117th Boston Marathon. Spectators lined the sidewalks, cheering, waving flags, and celebrating what was supposed to be a joyous sporting tradition. But at 2:49 p.m., everything changed. Two homemade pressure cooker bombs hidden in backpacks exploded just 12 seconds apart near the finish line on Boylston Street. The blasts tore through the crowd, sending shrapnel flying. In a moment, the cheers turned to screams. 3 people were killed instantly: an 8-year-old boy, a 23-year-old graduate student, and a 29-year-old restaurant manager. More than 260 others were injured, many losing limbs. What had been a day of triumph turned into one of America's most horrifying terror attacks since 9/11. Investigators quickly identified the perpetrators: Tamerlan and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, 2 brothers of Chechen descent who had lived in the United States for years. Motivated by extremist beliefs, they planned the attack to retaliate against U.S. involvement in wars in Muslim-majority countries. The FBI released surveillance photos of the suspects, calling them Suspect 1 and Suspect 2. Within hours, their faces were on every screen in America. What followed was a tense and chaotic 5-day manhunt. On April 18th, the brothers killed MIT police officer Sean Collier in an attempt to steal his gun. Later that night, they engaged in a wild shootout with police in Watertown, Massachusetts. Homemade explosives were thrown, bullets flew, and the streets turned into a war zone. Tamerlan Tsarnaev was killed during the gunfight. His younger brother, Dzhokhar, managed to escape, triggering a massive lockdown across Boston. For the first time in modern history, an entire U.S. city was asked to stay indoors as police went door to door. Finally, on April 19th, Dzhokhar was found hiding in a boat in a suburban backyard. Weakened and bleeding, he was captured alive. In the years that followed, survivors began a long journey of recovery. Stories of courage emerged: first responders who ran toward the blasts, bystanders who used belts as tourniquets, and hospitals that performed dozens of emergency surgeries in hours. The city's rallying cry, "Boston Strong," became a symbol of resilience. Vigils were held, memorials built, and each year the Boston Marathon now honors the victims with a moment of silence. As for Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, he was tried and convicted in 2015 on multiple federal charges, including the use of a weapon of mass destruction. He was sentenced to death, though his legal appeals continue. The Boston Marathon bombing was more than an attack on a race. It was an attack on a community, a tradition, and a city's spirit. Yet from the ashes of fear rose stories of unity, compassion, and strength. It reminds us that even in the face of terror, humanity's resilience echoes louder. This has been Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen. If you found this story meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you powerful stories from the past. Stay strong, stay curious, and until next time, this was Echoes Untold. This narration is based on verified reports from sources including the U.S. Department of Justice trial records, 2015, FBI official press releases, 2013, the Boston Globe's special coverage of the bombing and aftermath survivors' accounts documented in medical journals and news archives,